Motion carried, 6-0.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Latimer.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, County Administrator Merrill, Mr. Flesher. Thank you very much for inviting me here. There's been a tremendous amount of media attention to election security since the election, before it and since the election. Unfortunately, a lot of that media has been wrong. So let me tell you what has occurred here in Hillsborough County. On November 1st of 2016, my office received 7 emails that were directed to addresses in my office that were a direct spear phishing attempt. Those emails never made it to the desktop. They were quarantined by our system. The vendor that they were trying to mimic also immediately called and said that there was an email out there. It was totally blocked. So with that, though, I say something because some of the headlines in the papers were that the voting system was hacked. And there's a big difference between the voting system and the voter registration system. So the computers that we use every day where this email would have gone to are not connected to the tabulation system in any way. As a matter of fact, our tabulation system by law is a standalone closed system, not connected to the internet or my intranet in any way. And again, that's by law. So we do know that there's bad actors out there, though, that are hoping to achieve something, and I would suggest it's trying to undermine the confidence in our election system. You know, our voter rolls are all public record, and that brings me to another little side story here, because there's been a lot of information in the press lately about some requests for voter rolls. Our voter rolls are public record. What's not public record is your driver's license number, the last 4 of your social security number, and your signature. Those are not public record. Routinely, we distribute our voter rolls to people that request those. Many of you are aware of that, and through your different ways you've probably gotten that information in the past. So getting into our voter registration system, it's public record already. So what is that bad actor trying to achieve? One of the things that we do realize is we are vulnerable. You know, yes, if somebody was to be able to get into the system and start to make changes, and that's all the speculation that's out there, but I can tell you this. We routinely monitor that. We can see right away if there's a lot of changes being made to our system. The way our system is set up is that our county is actually, we house all our records, and our records flow into the state voter registration system, Florida voter registration system. We have robust security measures in place, both at the county level and at the state level. There's backups of all of these systems, and again, they're monitored constantly. We have redundancies, controls, and backups every step of our voter election system. Many of you have heard me say this before. You know, when we get ready to have an election, the first thing we do is what's called a logic and accuracy test. That's where we put a predetermined deck of ballots through randomly selected tabulators to make sure that the machines, in fact, are counting those votes correctly. We then deploy these machines out into the community, and there's physical security on those machines also in the form of locks and seals that are all recorded numbers. After the election, we then conduct what's called a manual audit, where the canvassing board randomly selects a race and precincts for that race. We go find all the ballots, vote by mail, election day, and early vote, and we manually count those ballots to make sure that the machine, in fact, counted them correctly. And I would remind you all that this last election, we had a countywide recount of a school board race that was 1,200 votes separating the two opponents, and after we went through 1.2 million ballots, there was still 1,200 votes separating these two individuals. So I'm extremely confident in our vote totals and the systems that we have. One of the things that we have going for us is that the election system is totally decentralized. There is well over 6,000 jurisdictions that conduct elections throughout the United States, over 116,000 different polling sites. So there would have to be some type of a massive effort to be able to infiltrate all these different 117,000 polling sites that are out there. In closing, I want to assure you that we take our work very seriously. Our State Association of Supervisors is constantly looking at best practices, and cybersecurity is at the forefront. I want to let you also know that I have been selected to serve on a national task force of election professionals for security in the elections industry. So with that, I'd be more than willing to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Latimer. We do have some questions from Commissioner Merman.
I don't have any questions, just a quick comment. I brought those forward to have you come here because of all the news reports. I mean, fake or not, it's hacking is, it's really almost becoming a way of life, I think, in the IT world. And I think you coming here, you've done an outstanding job, and I guess want our citizens to realize that you're going to do everything you can to protect our system from being hacked.
And the key to that too, Commissioner Merman, thank you very much, is when we talk about hacking, it's something I preach constantly. You can't hack a paper ballot. There's a paper trail.
Good point, good point. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. We have some questions or comments from Commissioner Hagan as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Craig, just want to say thank you for the presentation. Very much appreciate your leadership, and I have the utmost confidence in you and your office and everything that you guys do. Keep up great work.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that. My staff appreciates it too.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Yep. Mr. Merrill.
Commissioners, if you